Have you ever wondered how that one person just has so many friends? Because after all, they're kind of toxic, right? Every time you're around them, they're talking shit about someone, or you might have heard something that they've done to another person or your friend that was actually really, really messed up. And yet, they're always out, and there's always people out with them. They always seem to be doing something, but you're not. You're home alone on Friday nights much more often than you'd like to be. You don't have many people texting you, and it doesn't make sense because you are probably nicer and a better person than these toxic people. It doesn't seem fair, and in one way, it's not. It's not fair that you can be so kind to so many people and actually be a pretty damn decent person and then not have many friends. I'm saying this because that's me, but also might be you. But also, I know one thing. It's an illusion. You're the kind of person that when you go out, you want it to be fun, engaging, present. It kind of bothers you when your friends are on their phone and you're trying to have fun with them. You like having genuine, real, deep, or also not so deep conversations, but they just feel real, and gossiping and talking shit about people just doesn't seem like it's up your lane. It is probably true that you know that those people are toxic and you don't really want to surround yourself around toxic people, but something about them makes you still want to be invited when they go out. Something about them makes you still want them to like you, to give you some kind of approval. A part of you wants those popular kids that could sometimes pass as bullies to see you in a positive light. I did too. But I have deluded myself into thinking something that I know will help you too. Whether or not it's a delusion, I might never know, but it helps me. So let's tell you what it is. I forced myself to believe a few things. One of them being that these kids that you hear are having such a fun time, these parties you missed, they're not actually having fun. At least you're not your idea of fun. What I mean by this is their idea of fun might just be a little different from yours. For example, their idea of fun might be drinking, smoking, hooking up with random people, and sure, good for them, but that just might not align with your idea of fun because it doesn't line up with mine. It might line up with yours, but for me at least, I don't consider them to be having real, true fun because they need a substance or they need sex. And I prefer fun in more wholesome, real life ways. Nothing against them for having fun that way. It just isn't my idea of fun and doesn't line up with my values at the moment. And what looks like such an awesome, fun time on these people's Instagram and Snapchat stories probably wasn't all that fun. I've told this story before, but I'm gonna tell it again. Around 2 years ago, I had this friend, and he went to this party that everyone else seemed to get invited to that I just didn't, and it sucks because that's a horrible feeling. And he was telling me, yeah, man, it was so much fun. Like, yeah, I was talking to these girls, and I was like, oh, good for you, bro. Part of me was a little jealous, but what are you gonna do? 2 years ago now. But what I did find out is that another friend of mine told me that this kid at the party was just awkward. He was antisocial. He was kind of just there filming and was not the one that was the life of the party. This is what I want you to understand. It's kind of a show. You might not have social media anymore if you watch my content, but all the times we've been jealous of our peers for being somewhere or being with someone that we weren't, a lot of the times I truly believe they weren't having fun. The only reason they posted on their story them having such an amazing time is because us humans have one flaw amongst others, but one flaw is that we care a lot about what other people think. It's valuable in some ways to care what others think, of course, but in our modern day, it really is doing us more harm than it is doing us good. We want those around us, even strangers on the internet, to think, yeah, that kid's cool. He seems like he's a good time. He seems like someone I would want to be friends with. He's a cool human being. This is why these kids are posting their entire lives on Snapchat and Instagram, because they want, and I want, and we all want people to think that we are fun and awesome to be around, because then our brains will think that we are worthy of love. It's dark shit, but I believe that to be true. For some people, obviously it's not the truth. You would be shocked to find out how many hangouts that you missed that were just so upsetting because you missed them, but all that happened was that they were texting different people on Snapchat and literally looking at different TikToks and not really talking to each other. Sure, the company is nice, but is that your idea of fun? If it is, I'm not judging, but I'm just saying it's not mine, so I have nothing to be like, I missed out. Those people that are posting their amazing time want people like us and everyone else to think that they're a good time because they have some kind of hole inside of them that makes them not love themselves for who they are and need the external validation for it. Again, I'm really not judging anyone here because I am not innocent of this at all. I posted on my story for years before this. I am gonna post my personal life to thousands of people on the internet because part of me probably does want some validation from people I don't know, because this is our human flaw. Another major thing I want to talk about now is gossip. You used to gossip, I used to gossip. It's kind of fun, but when you were younger and stupid, and now it's kind of like you really don't have anything else to talk about, bro. Now that's us being judgmental, which is probably a bad thing, but they're doing gossip, which is essentially not a positive thing. So you've moved past this part of your personality that was talking shit and talking bad about people behind their backs, but those toxic popular kids haven't. It's okay to feel bad about not getting invited somewhere, but it becomes a little easier once you try to think about the idea that maybe these toxic popular kids aren't so popular and don't have as many friends as you think they do, or they think they do. I don't know about you, but if I had a friend where all we did was drink together and I told him, hey man, I think I'm gonna try to stop drinking, and he didn't want to be friends with me anymore, or he slowly cut ties with me, I wouldn't consider that my real friend. Same thing if I only smoked with my friend and he was my smoking partner and I told him, I don't think I want to do this anymore, and he was kind of like, oh yeah, cool bro, and then you kind of separate, I wouldn't consider that person my friend. The same thing is true about gossiping. Gossiping, I am gonna come out and say that it's an addiction. Whatever addiction any person has, including gossip, people want to do with other people. It feels good to gossip about someone else because then at least the gossip isn't happening to us. So who's to say that it's not addictive? And the reason why toxic people have so many friends is because a lot of people enjoy gossiping, because then at least it's not happening to me. And it's more fun to gossip with someone else than gossiping alone, of course. So it is important to realize that these kids might be addicted to not only being intoxicated, but also gossiping. Again, two things that I personally don't really want to surround myself with. What is there for me to miss out on? We do enjoy doing addictive things with a partner because then at least it's not just you that's struggling. It's not just you that is addicted to something. I remember when I used to fail math tests, it felt a lot better to fail with my friend than to just fail alone, because you're not alone that way. I'm telling you, it is much, much easier to find someone that will just want to gossip, drink, and smoke with you than to find someone that will actually have real, genuine conversations with you and listen to you and be a genuine, good friend. I have a lot of mutual friends, which means I'm very friendly to everyone. I have a lot of people that, I dab them up, I say, hi, what's up, man? But my actual circle of close friends is very small, because I don't really want to surround myself all the time with people whose morals just aren't that similar to mine. I will hang out with them if I have the opportunity, but I don't go crazy and lose myself trying to build that friendship up so much when I have real, genuine people that I actually love so much right there. I'm gonna try to build that friendship before I build the friendship where I feel like is just toxic. So here's what you do when you're a loner like me. You become ultra grateful for even just that one friend you might have who actually is there for you and listens to you, and you feel like they would fight for you and truly be there for you when you really needed them. You put all of your energy into building up that friendship, and you don't for 1 second get jealous of not being invited somewhere where you don't even think you would have fun with people you don't even actually like. All of that energy of you being jealous, you have to put that into your true friendships that are actually gonna go somewhere and you can literally be friends with for years down the line. You don't, and you never wanted just a bunch of people you weren't really close with. You always wanted, at least I always wanted, 2, 3, up to 5 people who are like your boys, your homies, your sisters, whatever, that would be there for you when you needed them, and you can literally, they are your friends. Like all those 80s movies of the young kids growing up that were just like everywhere together. That is what I've always wanted, not a bunch of people that were just kind of like, yeah, I dap him up. Again, I believe social media has made it so that if you only have 2 or 3 friends like me, you're a lame loner loser. Is that true? But I am no longer putting energy into being jealous and having FOMO when I have true, genuine, real people right there next to me, even if it's just a few. And I want to stress this, I'm not resenting anyone that lives a different lifestyle than me. I'm not saying, oh, they're bad people for doing what they do. No, I'm just saying I'm not going to be jealous for them. Let them live, let them be happy. I hope they're happy. I'm just gonna let them live. I'll live. I'll build my real good friendships up, and they will too. We go our separate paths, and that's okay. And also, just stop looking at people's stories. It never ever brought you anything, ever. If you really think about it, never ever 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 has ever brought you anything, ever, ever. Once you put in the time and energy into those that are truly good friends that you love so much, you're not gonna feel jealous anymore. So that's what I want you to do. Go out and build that friendship. You know who I'm talking about. Put all of your energy into them, and not for 1 second ever be jealous over people that you don't even like. Am I being delusional? You tell me. Am I coping? You tell me. Have a beautiful rest of your day.